Robbie Robertson, classic for all time, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. An unbelievably cool historical song written from the eyes of a far northerner, with a lot of help from a far southerner and a lot of research done at the library in Woodstock. This tune is, it's funny, for as many years as I've loved the band and played a couple of their tunes, I've never shown this song to anybody. And I just heard it the other day. I thought, that's dumb. We need a lesson on The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. Because there are some really unusual things in this. Not too many chords, but a lot of unusual inversions. Now, we're not necessarily going to, I'm going to explore later the idea of doing a whole instrumental version of it. Matter of fact, maybe we'll do a bonus segment on this. I don't know. I've been doing that a little bit lately. Of exploring the possibilities of picking out the melody. But what I really want to do in this lesson is just go over the chord progression, some of the little licks. It opens up with this little scale played on the piano. You hear this really low C, and we can recreate all that on the guitar. So I have a little bit of tablature, just a couple measures that show some of the little transitions, and then and a chart. Now what I'd like you to do is, so this is 1969, their second album, The Band, brown and white cover, some great tunes on it, Rag Mama Rag and Cripple Creek Up on Cripple. Never mind. Okay, following music from Big Pink. From just a little earlier. So, boy, I love those early albums. Stage Fright's probably my favorite of their early albums. But, okay, what was I talking about? The chart. So, take a look at the chart and see if you can figure out how to play those chords before you look at the chord segment coming up. Because that's what I'll do in the next thing, is I'll break down the fingerings of the 5 or 6 chords involved. But we have a lot of chords in inversions, so that's where the slash is in the name of the chord, and you'll see C with G in the bass, or D minor with F sharp in the bass. Not likely. Why not? I'm sure you know. Okay, but in any case, take a look at the chart, and in the next segment we'll go over the chords, and then we'll talk about the strumming and the arrangement, and, you know, the usual MO here. So, coming up, a look at Robbie Robertson and Levon Helm. The singing in this is so... I mean, it's great that Levon had this thick, well, this southern accent, and this song just sounds so real. It sounds like it was written in the day, at the end of the Civil War, as the South was heading south. Well, anyway, so take a look at the chart, and we'll talk about the chords next, and then we'll look at the tune, The Night They Drove Old Dixie Down. Actually, I want to talk about the strumming first, because it's really important in this song that we hear the bass come out very clearly. As I mentioned in the first segment, the bass is very distinctive and not always the roots of the chord, not the notes you expect to hear in various places. So if you play an A minor chord, we want the first beat of every chord to be really heavy on the bass. So now I'm not distinctly hitting the bass. I might other times. If I was going to an F chord, I might want to hear this. If I go to a C, I might want to hear this. D minor, G. So we want to have heavy on the bass on the first beat of every chord. I hope you've had a chance to take a look at the chart and done your best to figure out how to play all these chords. Now I'm going to talk about some of the possibilities that we want to do, or that we're going to do here. Now, A minor is going to be really simple, and this is where the whole thing kind of revolves around A minor, or starts on A minor, ends in odd places. We're going to have some C chords. I'm going to go through the conventional ones first. C is just going to be our standard C. We're going to have D minor. I usually like to play D minor with my 4th finger rather than my 3rd. And when there's a time when D minor goes to D, and when that happens, I would even leave my 4th finger there and just use my 1st and 2nd to go from D minor to D major. So that's, you know, there's our normal set of chords: A minor, C, D minor, D, And F, the Fs we're going to play as a full bar, and because we're not finger picking this, we need the whole thing. If I was finger picking it, I would shorten it to this, not worrying about the fifth string being part of the equation. But for the F that we need to do here, we need to strum everything. Aside from the the cool chord progression and stuff, we've got some nice little fills, most of which are done. Well, one is done on the guitar. The opening one though is done more on the piano. But to hear this on the guitar, what we hear this low C. Now I'm taking a look at the tab, and the intro is just this one measure lead up to our A minor chord. Starting with a C. It's a dotted quarter note. Oh, the whole thing is in swing time as well, which you can see I've got on the tab there, the 2 eighth notes are played as triplet eighth notes. And so otherwise we'd have this, which they do sometimes on the licks and on various live ones, but we're not going to go there. So so we really just have a straight, excuse me, a C scale. C, D, E, F, G, A. And that leads us up to a low A in the bass that would be the bass note at the beginning of the strum.